Todd Chrisley has reportedly cut loose and is embracing aging behind bars. The reality TV king has reportedly fallen from grace and is no longer aging like a fine wine without his wads full of cash to pay for plastic surgery and hair dye. Some fans, however, admit they aren't too surprised and question if he's actually embracing aging or just forced to accept it as he's rotting behind bars without access to his lavish lifestyle. Todd Chrisley cuts loose, forced to embrace aging behind bars. Speaking to Daily Mail Online, a source close to the Chrisley family claims Todd Chrisley is unrecognizable as he no longer has access to his lavish lifestyle that has allowed him to go to war with the natural process of aging. His Botox is fading, his sink is starting to sag, and his hair has started to go gray. All of his older children have admitted on various podcasts that it was a bit startling to see how different their father looks behind bars without his routine Botox treatments and blonde hair. While embracing aging may not be something Todd Chrisley has much of a choice but to accept behind bars, the inside source claims he's also had a change of heart in the guilt department. From the very beginning, Todd Chrisley and his wife Julie have always claimed to be victims. They claimed they were set up. And they claimed they were innocent of everything they've been accused of. The source claims that in the 4 months Todd has been behind bars, he's had a lot of time to think about what caused him to be in the position he's in. And the source claims Todd Chrisley has finally come to terms with the fact that his own greed is to blame for the reason both himself and his wife are currently rotting behind bars. 12 years is a very, very long time and it already feels like a lifetime to him. Todd is starting to feel hopeless. He is aware that his greed caused all of this. They are fighting for an appeal. The insider did affirm Todd Chrisley and his wife Julie hired a very powerful attorney to file an appeal and get their conviction overturned. The chances of that happening, however, seem to be unfounded as federal convictions only get overturned about 5% of the time. The source went on to reveal, after their conviction, Todd hired power attorneys at Burr and Foreman to take on their appeal, but it is going so slow for them. They were told by people on the inside very familiar with the process that, despite them believing they did not get a fair trial and the court erred, overturning the jury's decision is next to impossible. They are both aware of this. Why do you think Todd and Julie decided to fight for an appeal to overturn their case after being told it was highly unlikely to go anywhere? Do you think they should have just plead guilty and hoped for a reduced sentence? Share your thoughts with us in the comments down below. And, keep coming back for more Chrisley news. The dim fluorescent lights buzzed incessantly, casting a sterile glow over the narrow confines of the prison cell. Todd Chrisley, once the epitome of Southern charm and opulence, now sat on the edge of a stark metal cot, staring at the concrete walls that had become his new reality. The vibrant world of wealth and luxury that he once ruled with an iron fist seemed like a distant memory. It had been months since Todd and his wife, Julie, were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion. Their lavish lifestyle, once flaunted on national television, had crumbled under the weight of their deceit. Now, the pristine suits and tailored wardrobes were replaced by drab prison uniforms, and the socialite gatherings were swapped for silent, solitary moments. Todd sighed deeply, running a hand through his now graying hair. The aging process had accelerated in the harsh conditions of prison life, and the man who once prided himself on his immaculate appearance could no longer deny the wrinkles and lines that etched his face. The stress of his downfall had taken its toll, and he knew he had to come to terms with the changes it brought. As days turned into weeks, Todd realized that his new reality was not just about survival, it was about transformation. The prison system, with all its rigidity and structure, forced him to confront aspects of himself he had long ignored. Gone were the days of hiding behind a facade of perfection. Here, vulnerability was not a choice but a necessity. One morning, as the blaring sound of the wake-up call echoed through the cell block, Todd made a decision. He would no longer be defined by his past mistakes or his former life. He would embrace this new chapter, no matter how difficult it seemed. It was time to cut loose from the chains of his old identity and rediscover who he truly was. The first step was finding a routine. Todd joined a prison work program, spending his days in the prison library. Surrounded by rows of dusty books, he found solace in the written word. Literature became his escape, a way to explore worlds beyond the gray walls of his cell. He devoured classics, contemporary novels, and even self-help books, seeking wisdom and inspiration in their pages. The library also became a place of connection. Todd began to interact with other inmates, sharing stories and experiences. He realized that many of them, like him, had made grave mistakes but were seeking redemption. The camaraderie that developed was unexpected but welcomed. It was in these moments of genuine human connection that Todd found a sense of purpose. Outside the library, Todd embraced physical activity. The prison yard, with its limited facilities, became his makeshift gym. He started running laps, feeling the burn in his muscles and the rush of endorphins. Exercise became a form of meditation, a way to clear his mind and focus on the present. With each stride, he felt a little more in control, a little more alive. The transformation was not just physical. Todd delved into introspection, reflecting on the choices that led him to this point. He began journaling, pouring his thoughts and regrets onto paper. Through this process, he confronted the guilt and shame that had haunted him. He acknowledged the pain he had caused his family and the people who had trusted him. It was a painful journey, but one that brought clarity and a sense of accountability. As months passed, Todd's efforts did not go unnoticed. The prison staff saw his commitment to change and granted him the opportunity to participate in a rehabilitation program. This program focused on personal development, offering classes in anger management, financial literacy, and even creative arts. Todd eagerly joined, determined to make the most of every opportunity. In the creative arts class, Todd discovered a passion for painting. The act of putting brush to canvas was liberating, allowing him to express emotions he had long suppressed. His early works were dark and chaotic, reflecting the turmoil within. But as he continued to paint, his art evolved. Bright colors and serene landscapes began to emerge, symbolizing his journey toward healing and acceptance.